Hi there, Andre here from Peak Motorcycles. I'm here at EICMA 2023, and behind me is the frankly enormous Yamaha stand. They have a lot of bikes here, they really do. They have a lot of competition bikes. So what I'm going to try and do is show you the whole stand. I am going to go past some of them quite quickly, including the sort of competition motocross bikes over my shoulder. There's a few bikes I do want to focus on. One is the XSR 900 GP, because I think they look great. Quite keen to sit on one and try it out. The other is there's two new versions of the Tenere 700. There's the Extreme Edition and the other one, which I'll get there, Explorer Edition, I think. There's one with a lower seat. Anyway, Explorer, I think it's called. So yeah, when I get there, I'll get the name right and I will show you around the stand. So starting off with PW50 down at this end, and then here we have a big section of off-road competition machines, together with a number of competition winning bikes up there. You know, you've got to love the gold tyres. We also have quads in here, which look pretty serious as far as quads go. Golf buggy, anyone? And a fairly large looking jet ski. So I'm going to start with a Sport Heritage range with the XSR 125, available in white and black, and then that goes up to, I think, the XSR 700, which is the MT-07 engine. They do one that has slightly different sort of graphics and things, which is the Legacy Edition. And just on the other side of that, hopefully you can see one of the bikes I'm really interested in, the XSR 900 GP. So I'm actually going to have a look at this one. This chap is done with it. So yeah, this is a Yamaha XSR 900. So sitting up here, it's actually quite a nice place to be. And I can imagine that even down, when I've got my hands on the grips, that you're not massively crouched over. I mean, it does have clip-ons, and they are angled downwards, but it's not like being on an out-and-out sports bike. The tank feels very big in front of me, and that fairing with these supports that go either side is kind of cool. But it does have a modern dash, it is a modern bike underneath, it does have fully adjustable suspension. What I'll do is I'll get off and then I can show you the outside of the bike. So this is what Yamaha's new, and I know it doesn't look new, XSR 900 GP looks like. I think it looks brilliant. I mean, it's it has had the pillion pegs removed. I can still see the hangers on the frame, but there's no pegs on it. It's got this rear cowl. Looks like it's just itching for a number to go on there. Okay, the tail tidy is not very pretty, but that's not the end of the world. Coming down the other side of the bike, it's a XSR 900 underneath, but at the same time, it just looks great. And one thing they can do is that in these days with LED technology, you can have that fairing with just a tiny little light, which does look like a very old retro light-free race fairing. Love it. Okay, let's talk naked bikes. So Yamaha have their big range of MT bikes, starting with the MT-07 here in the black and blue. Here we have the daddy of them all, the MT-10 SP, which has a lot of technology, has a lot of everything, and is an absolute weapon. I mean, this one's got probably a fairly extensive parts catalogue on it, but yeah, it's great. I think as a machine, they are just so fast. I'm not sure about those headlamps, they still look a bit Transformer eyebrows to me, but hey, everyone's different. Coming up here, we've got an MT-09 in the turquoise and black. That's available in most other models. I think I saw an SP, I think, is that over here? Yeah, this is the new Yamaha MT-09 SP. Again, you know, it's got those gold forks, blue wheels, black bodywork. It's got Öhlins adjustable suspension on the back. A few bits of carbon fibre, and then a rather fabulous looking dash up there. Coming down the other side of this bit, we've got the MT-07 Pure in black, and then here we have an MT-03 in the black and turquoise. I'm just going to do a very quick run up the sports bikes, which starts off with this rather fabulous looking R1M, which has just got carbon fibre everywhere, the latest technology for everything. I mean, they are brilliant. I daren't ask how much they are, but it's unlikely I'd ever be able to have one anyway. I don't know where I'd ride it. But yeah, that is the Yamaha R1M. Isn't it beautiful? So there's just the bog standard, the plain R1, which is a weapon on its own. And then down here we also have the R1 25th anniversary. There are a number of race bikes up there on the shelf, which look lovely. I'm not going to talk through all of those, and I don't know if you can see how this is laid out down here, but there's basically the GYTR bikes on the right and then standard bikes on the left. With an R1 at the front with a GYTR kit on it. That's if you really do want to take it and go racing. Behind that is an R6, and I know they don't make the R6 anymore for the road, but as that inline 4 wasn't replaced in the R7, they still do, and at the back of the line we have a GYTR R7. They do have all of these lined up here as well, but honestly I'm probably not going to go through all of these one by one, just because, well, there's an awful lot of them. This one here at the front is the R7. We're now into sport touring, where they have this rather fancy looking grey and pink Nikon. There's also one available in black. And then we have a Tracer 9 GT. So this is the one that's still got the conventional dash. I don't know about you, whenever I see that, I see sunglasses and a nose. Let's not dwell on that. Up here we do have the Tracer 9 GT Plus, which has the new dash, which I much prefer. My apologies, Yamaha, if I've been criticising the other one, but it's just how I feel. This one, I actually quite like the paint job on that as well, with the grey and the gold and the black. Like I say, this is the Tracer 9 GT Plus, and I think you'll agree that is rather a fine looking motorcycle. Down here we have the Tracer 7 GT, complete with luggage, some little hand guards, also with a TFT dash. Now I'm guessing that is a sunshade. I'm wondering if that was, oh no it's not, that is the bracket for the windscreen. Tracer 9 in red, again with the conventional dash. This one's got a fake Garmin fixed to it, and here we have a Tracer 7. Now I think what people might be interested in is this. So this is a GYTR Tenere 700. Lots of trick bits on it. I'm not sure if you can buy that as a pack, but looking at there, it appears to have done away with the conventional dash, and instead that has been replaced with a road book, so it definitely looks like a rally bike with all the bits and pieces on there, including these rather big rear tanks as well. Now there's another one of these over there, so rather than me having to reach up to cover that, I will instead go down and show you the other one. Before I get there, here we have the Tenere World Raid. Been out for a while. It's got these big double tanks at the front. I know a few people have got them and they love them. I think it's a great bike. For me, I thought the original Tenere was a bit heavy, and this has only made it heavier, but there is a horse for every cowboy. Down here we have just the standard Tenere 700, which does look quite skinny next to the World Raid, I think you'll agree. So this is the one that I thought I'd forgotten the name of, but I'm delighted that it is the Tenere 700 Explore. So this is a new bike, so I think it's kind of similar to the standard one, except it just has a much lower seat, and this does indeed look like it has a much lower seat. Other than that, I think it is pretty much identical to the standard bike. This is one of the other new versions of the Tenere, and this version is the Extreme Edition. So I think they've taken a standard Tenere and then they've just given it bigger suspension, further travel suspension. I think it's higher quality. It's this KYB suspension that looks like it's fully adjustable. I know that was one of the criticisms of the stock suspension on the original Tenere. I don't know if it's improved on the stock bike over time. It also has this big old alloy bash guard under there. It's got titanium pegs, which actually those are really wide. I don't know if you can see there on there. It's not the funny angle, they really are very deep front to back, in addition to how far they stick out. So yeah, I think that just looks really tidy. If I was in the market for something like this would definitely be on the list. I mean, I think as middleweight adventure bikes go, I know that tech has started creeping in, but I think when they started off, they really were, they were just simple and they just did what they were supposed to do. A couple more things to show you here. So one is another World Raid, this one in sort of a metallic grey with blue highlights. Then we have another one in blue and pink as the Tenere World Rally, this time not World Raid. This one's got Akrapovic pipes on it. It's got rubber inserts on the pegs. And coming through here, I see it's got steering damper and yeah, that lovely TFT display. This is the Tenere 700 World Raid official rally factory bike. So this is a bit like the one that had been up on the plinth, but instead of me having to reach over it, I can show it you from down here instead. So yeah, it's got lots of other trick bits already on it. It's got the big Akrapovic pipe. It's got the big rear tanks. And coming up over the engine, as you can see, that is not a standard road bike. It's got a road book holder and a couple of ICOs instead of the dash, and then different set of warning lights. In fact, yeah, pretty much everything on that I think is different to the standard Tenere. Now then, if you've seen the YouTube clips of Paul Tarras throwing one of these bikes around, this is actually his Tenere. So yeah, he makes this stuff look easy, and then for the rest of us, we think, wow, we could do that. And of course, there's so much skill I think comes with that. Nevertheless, this is what his bike looks like if you're ever curious to know what he was using. I think those foot pegs have had a good life. Yeah, I mean, it's fairly standard, I suppose. I mean, coming up and over the dash, it looks a little bit different in that, well, there is no dash. All it has is an ignition switch. A couple of, you see the headlamps in there, but yeah, really not a lot else that's on there. So I think that does have some of the trick GYTR bits on it as well. But yeah, really nice looking bike. Scooters, should we do this? Very quickly then, X-Max 125, and then here we have a X-Max 125 Tech Max. I'm guessing that's got a fancier screen. X-Max 300. I wish I could talk a bit more about some of these. I think they do a 700 or something, which really is the daddy of maxi scooters. It seems they do a Tech and a Tech Max for each one. Here is the 300 with the screen. You know what, I might just head down to the T-Max, because I think that's kind of the one or the two that I think people are going to be most interested in, even if you're not into scooters. I mean, that does look like a big machine, it really does. And just looking at the controls in there as well, I mean, I'm sure you could cross continents on this. I had a gentleman on one of my tours recently who was on a 350cc Honda scooter, and that did very well. So I'm sure on one of these, yeah, you would be going as quick as anyone would on a proper full-size motorbike. Even though it is a twist and go, it is still a scooter, but you have that much more protection. But actually, you know what? That is a big vehicle. You know, I'm sure that's about the length of a regular motorcycle. But yeah, it's quite a cool thing, really. I mean, is it me? Is that kind of a shark-ish front? I think it probably is. Yeah, this is the 2024 T-Max. So just coming up this side, they have some couple of three-wheeled scooters, look a bit like a mini Nikon, and together with the N-Max and the Delight and other scooters in here. And then we have a few electric ones. Yeah, I mean, it's a scooter. As someone who doesn't know a lot about scooters, or in some cases electric vehicles, I'm a bit limited as to what I can talk to you about these. But I think they look nice enough. I'm sure Yamaha know what they're doing. And if anything, these things I think are a little bit more interesting as sort of, I guess, cruiser bicycles, boosters, I think that those ones are called. A booster easy, and then a regular booster. And up here we have the Yamaha mountain bikes, the Yox DRO 07. Yeah, so as any mountain bike, they look great. I know they're priced up there with, you know, regular motorcycles. As the trails get closed in my local area, I'm sure I'm going to end up on one of these at some point. So there you go. That's a quick look around the Yamaha stand here at EICMA 2023. I think for me, there's two bikes on here that I still find the most interesting. One is the Tenere Extreme Edition over my shoulder, and the other is the XSR 900 GP, which it's nice to see some bikes like that coming through that do have that sort of retro charm about them while being a thoroughly brilliant bike underneath. So anyway, so I hope that has been interesting and useful. If it has, please see my other content from EICMA 2023, and maybe I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.